Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the first live episode of the Purpose of Money podcast. I'm your host today, Acquania Escarne, and we are going to talk about the $1 billion challenge that our special guest Ellie Diop recently did to help 1,000 women get covered with life insurance. It is Life Insurance Awareness Month, and we are going to talk about the importance of leaving a legacy for you and your family. We're also going to talk about a challenge that Ellie recently did that helped get 1,000 women insured with $1 million policies, creating $1 billion in wealth for their families. We're also going to talk about her amazing story going from broke and broken to multi-million-dollar entrepreneur. So I hope you guys are ready. This is going to be an interview to remember. We are going to have her inspirational tips as well as more about us and how we can apply these strategies to our businesses. But before we get into that, I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to the first live episode of the Purpose of Money podcast. This show is here to share with you entrepreneurship stories from women and men in our communities who are doing it well with businesses, working 9 to 5s, and having amazing side hustles and building generational wealth $1 at a time. I am so glad to say that we are celebrating the 4th anniversary of the Purpose of Money podcast this month because 4 years ago, after attending a conference in Orlando, Florida called FinCon, I was inspired to create thepurposeofmoney.com. And in this 4 years, we have launched a podcast that has now reached over 19,000 downloads. We've also helped thousands of women build generational wealth through life insurance, as well as investing in real estate ventures such as hotels, rentals, and apartments. It has been a pleasure to help women build wealth, and I'm super excited to be going into yet another year where we can share inspirational stories, how-to tips, and help you elevate your finances. Today, our guest is all about elevating. Her name is Ellie Diop, and she is the CEO of Ellie Talks Money. Ellie Talks Money is a platform that helps women and some men learn how to strategically build businesses from the ground up. And I'll share more about Ellie, but she's an amazing icon that has really found a way to not only build wealth through her business, but she's also teaching other mamas how to become mommy millionaires too. And it's such a pleasure to talk about this in a month where she just finished a challenge where she helped build generational wealth for all of the participants. So get ready, guys. We're going to have an awesome show. But before we start the interview, I'd love to know where you guys are joining us from. And I'd love to know if you are here for the first time or if you are a ride or die Purpose of Money podcast listener. So let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know, first timers or ride or die. Hey, Pavio. Thanks for joining us from Atlanta. We're super excited to have you today. Who else do we have here in the audience? Awesome. Welcome. Hi, Niall. I know her too. And Justin hitting us with the fire. Yes. Bitcoin vegan, shout out to you and all you do. He has been on the Purpose of Money podcast to talk about cryptocurrency. I love it. Tierra Abu is a ride or die boo. I love it. I love you, boo. I know you're out there in Texas. We got Justin joining us from Charlotte. This is exciting. We're going to be global, guys. Oh, Pavio's Ride or Die as well from Atlanta. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so exciting to have you here. And oh, Jordan Carter, Ride or Die from Be More. What up, Baltimore? Thank you so much, Jordan Carter. He is one of my clients who is killing it in the real estate business and really leveraging multi-family homes. Money Talks with Jonathan. Thank you for joining us today. Another YouTuber who I love to chat money about. Who else do we have? Yeah, this is exciting. First live episode, fourth anniversary. We have a lot of things going on too with the podcast. I'm recently coming off a trip to Orlando again. So, FinCon is a conference where money nerds unite. And that in 2018 is the conference that I attended that inspired me to create The Purpose of Money. And I had the pleasure of going there again this year. And it was amazing to go back to where it all started. FinCon was an amazing opportunity to network with other financial influencers in this space who love to talk about money. And I also got to meet Ellie in person for the first time. So this is going to be really fun because I'm not just interviewing her, I'm also reconnecting after spending some time with her over the past weekend in Orlando, Florida at FinCon 2022. I also had the pleasure to hang out with a lot of other Black influencers who are in the personal finance space, helping individuals build wealth and figure out their finances. So, this was a great opportunity to kind of engage with those who are in the same space as me and also to hang out with Ellie in person. So, I can't wait for her to join us so that we can have a conversation about how she built her wealth and what she's continuing to do to help others. But we definitely want you guys in the comments, just to give you some housekeeping rules. Feel free to drop questions in the comments. When you do, just add a Q before the question so that we know to save those when we get to the Q&A part of the show. Also, feel free to like, share, subscribe. I definitely would love to see you at future episodes, and you can turn on those notifications if you want to be notified anytime a new video drops or the next time we go live. That's the best way to keep in touch with us and to make sure that you get the latest news from The Purpose of Money. And as always, you can check out thepurposeofmoney.com, our website, where you're able to subscribe if you want to be added to our email list. But I appreciate you for showing up and showing out and being active in the comments, because we have some great comments already and we have just gotten started. All right, Ellie is here, and let's get this show on the road. I'd like to take this time now to formally introduce our guest for today. Ellie Diop, as I said, is the CEO of Ellie Talks Money. And today we're going to share more about her story and how she transitioned from a single mom of four, who was unemployed and seeking several job offers. She applied to 53 jobs and none of them hired her. And then she realized that her true calling was to create a business to help other women. Ellie went live for more than a year on Instagram, promoting her expertise in business credit, and utilized her knowledge in that sector to help other women build their businesses and access business credit too. Today, Ellie is a wonderful mommy millionaire and entrepreneur who has taught over 40,000 students how to build business credit, start Airbnbs, establish their businesses, and so much more. She is out here helping everyone elevate their money, and she is a true example of when God is on your side, you cannot lose. Ellie went from unemployment to a $1,200 stimulus check to using that stimulus check to launch a multi-million-dollar business. And now Ellie Talks Money is successfully helping individuals every single day. So without further ado, I would love Ellie to join us on stage so we can share more of her story with you. Hi, Ellie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. So excited
This
to
is
see you here
lovely. I am
today.
so excited to be on your show today.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. We did a little bit of introduction, but we're going to hop right into your story and share more about the journey that you've taken and how you have literally become just an icon for me, for other women, and a true recipient of the Icon Award recently. So this is
True.
definitely timely. So thank you so much for being willing to share your story with us today and the background behind the $1 billion mission. So we're going to talk more about that. But before we get started, I want to just kind of go back for a sec and I want to learn about Ellie when you were a child, and what was money like for you when you were growing up?
I love this question, and thank you so much again for having me. So, growing up as a child, I lived with my mom, so single mother. I was always very close with my dad, but they split from a young age. And I always had a very early understanding that we did not have as much money as other people because I went to a private school in Pasadena. So, if anyone's familiar with LA, I lived in Compton, California, and went to school in Pasadena. So, it's 45 minutes apart, two completely different worlds, truly. And that was a school that I was at from age 9 to 18 when I graduated. So I really understood, okay, this is what it looks like to have money when I would go to their homes and hear about what their parents did and see their cars. And, they even were talking about stocks at that time. And I'm like, we 10. Like, why are you talking about the stock market? But, now I'm thinking that, but at that time, I'm like, what? So I very much realized from a young age that there was a gap. And I remember always feeling like I want to be on the other end. Like, I want to know what it's like to have money. I want my mom to be driving that car? So I would definitely say the motivation to become wealthy started at a very young age.
I love it. And I'm glad that it inspired you to pursue wealth for yourself, but also realizing like there's two separate sides of this track here, and I want to be on the other side. Takes a lot in a mindset to want to do that, but you definitely are not falling short of that dream. So tell us a little bit more about 2020. I mean, everyone was going through a
Yes.
pandemic, but what was life like for you?
Whew, I mean, that was probably I would one of the hardest and also most rewarding years of my life. So in 2020, I finalized my divorce. So that happened at the beginning of the year. I was married for 7 years, got divorced in February of 2020. At the time, I was just, over giving birth to twins. So my twins were about 8 months at that time. And I moved back home to my mom's house, me and my 4 kids. So the twins were just the youngest two, but I still had two other toddlers. And I was unemployed. I had a great job, but I was laid off just ahead of the pandemic and trying to find a job in the pandemic. I'm sure we all know it was not happening for anyone. So it was a hard time. That first 6 months of the year was filled with a lot of, what am I going to do? Unsurety, being at my mom's house, wanting a different situation. And then the second half of the year, so I say it was the hardest year of my life, but also the most rewarding because I started my business around July of that year in 2020. And that is where I used my stimulus check as, I saw it as my seed money. I had worked in a startup environment, so I knew what to do, but I just had it on a much smaller scale with this $1,200. And I said, okay, I'm not getting a job. No one's hiring me. So let me take what I know how to do and give it directly to people, the market, small business owners. And so that year, I think I had made my first $10,000 after about 3 or so months in business. That was around October or November of 2020. And that's not a lot, right? I had my first $500 day just before that. And that's not a lot, but it was the most rewarding moment because coming from such a dark place to achieve that, although again, $500 a day isn't a huge number, but it felt like a sign that if I could make $500 in a day, then it just took a little bit of maneuvering to make $5,000 in a day or $50,000 in a day. And it was great. That
I
was the
love
start of
it.
it all.
I love it. And most people may or may not know this, but you moved from the $500 a day to making your first million in your business after 10 months. So from
Yeah.
July onward, what were the things that really helped you reach that $1 million milestone? Because there are some businesses that don't reach that milestone for years. What did you do differently?
I would definitely say something that I did differently in the business is more of the direct customer outreach. So through social media and through direct live streams or going live, I definitely think those were two changes that made my business grow so quickly. In addition to that, a third element is I focused on volume. So my price point at that time was maybe $50 for a class, maybe $100 at most. And although that's not a high number, I felt like, okay, if I focus on getting more people to pay $100 and focus on impacting and communicating and creating content for more people, then I'll get to this number by volume, right? I could have had $1,000 product and just sold, I don't know, a couple thousand of them, but that's a much different process, right? And I had to look at what I had available to me. I had to look at who I was really focused on serving and where they were at that time. And I knew that in that moment, my target audience probably didn't have $1,000 just to put up, but 100 they could do. And so focusing on that volume, showing up for them every day through live streams so they really know I am who I say I am and can ask me those questions directly, I think built trust in my business really quickly and caused more people to buy.
I love it. And I think trust is so important. And so, for those out there who are entrepreneurs and you're growing in your business or just starting out, remember the importance of building trust with your target audience. That trust and credibility is going to lead to the sales, right? And
Yep.
I love what you said about impact, how you really focus on impacting more people and leaving it at a price point that your clients and your customers could afford. So making access to you achievable and affordable is key. And it paid off because that turned into a million in revenue in 10 months. So let's talk about the impact you are most recently known for. I'm super proud of you because as a life insurance producer and you also from the industry, you know the importance of life insurance. You know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month, and you know that it is a guaranteed way to leave a legacy. But you actually came up with a concept to take it to a whole new level with a
Mm-hmm.
$1 billion challenge. So tell us a little bit more about the $1 billion challenge and how you got so many women to commit to life insurance for their families.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited we get to talk about this. So I created a group or a community called Mommy to Millionaire. And it is essentially a space where I want to coach moms specifically and dads. We have some dads in there. And some aunties, but I'm focused on coaching moms on how they can start their businesses and build wealth so they can become the first millionaires in their family, and then of course help their children to be millionaires as well. So a part of the focus for this last Mommy to Millionaire challenge was really actively taking steps to create wealth and create legacy through life insurance. So I set a goal to get 1,000 women or dads, aunties, whoever in the room so that each of them could secure a $1 million term life insurance policy. And that would create effectively $1 billion in new Black insurance policy holders and as well in new Black legacy, which was so important. And although they are term policies, what matters is knowing that they have the coverage and knowing that they can leave something behind, because our communities are typically the least insured and the most underinsured across the board. So starting with that is an amazing step. So the goal was 1,000. We ended up getting a little over 700 people in. So the process right now is going with the life insurance, but effectively that could be $700 million in insurance secured for these individuals, which I'm just super proud of. It's a start, and it really goes to show that if we focus on attaching a why to life insurance, people will sign up. They will get it. I think what I learned most in this is that many of the reasons why these individuals were uninsured isn't that they don't think it's important. I think they just never knew what it could be used for, and how much of a preventative measure it is from losing wealth when you pass away.
Absolutely. So, for those of you in the chat joining us live, feel free to drop legacy in the comments if you agree that we are out here to build legacies for our families and we want to make sure they're taken care of. Because what you did, Ellie, was you created legacies for so many women out there and men who are now focused on leaving a legacy for their families. And one of the things that I like to add is that this challenge was not just about life insurance. It was also about creating wills, creating trust and estate planning so that people created the systems they need to protect the wealth that they are now creating. In addition to, you had individuals in the room teaching them every single night tactics that they needed to build their businesses, like creating vending machine businesses for your kids or hiring your kids to be members of the business, making money in the business. So let's just give it to Ellie. Let's give her her flowers for creating so many legacies right now. I love it.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Azalea. She's a ride or die from PA. I love it. Thank
We
you for
love
joining
it.
us. Yes, we love it. Thank you for joining us today. So I'm super proud of you, Ellie. 1,700, whatever it is more families with life insurance than we had before. Okay. Hey, Colette. Yeah, we gonna work together to upgrade you. So for those who are just joining, we are talking to Ellie Diop of Ellie Talks Money. We're talking about her journey from using her $1,200 stimulus check to start her multi-million-dollar business at a time when she was unemployed and a single mom of 4 kids. And now she is recently known for her $1 billion challenge, where she helped women and a couple of men get life insurance policies to protect their families and to leave a legacy. I'm super proud of you. That is awesome. And it's just so many great things. What are some of the feedback that you've been getting from some of the participants? What have they been saying about the challenge?
Wow. I mean, so we still have all of them in the chat, and we communicate with them daily, and they are still on a high from all the information. So, to give context, it was a 5-day challenge. So, essentially, 5 days of intensive learning where each class every day was probably a little over 2 hours in the following areas of life insurance, taxes, estate planning, investing, and then passive income. So really, what I like to see as the 5 pillars almost of being able to create and sustain wealth. So, I mean, they're just so grateful. Everyone feels like they could have paid way more for it because the challenge is only $297. And I want to always do my best to keep that price point because that is again how we create more access and impact. People may not have $1,000 or $2,000 to access that information, which is technically, how much it usually costs. I mean, to even have a consultation call with a lawyer for your trust is usually $700 an hour, right? But to be able to give them all of that information, and that was actually my team. So, my financial planners, my lawyer, some of my own friends who are CPAs, you yourself, Acquania, taught the life insurance class, and we worked together. So
Mm-hmm.
they really got the information from people in the field doing it so that they could really use it as a launching pad. So many of them are still working on their investment accounts, they're completing their policies, they're wanting to set up policies for their kids. I believe it's really permeating and helping create an impact. And that's what I hope. I hope it's not something they just do for 5 days, but something they do, forever.
Yes, I agree with that. And so, for those of you who are interested, I'm going to drop a link in the comments for you guys on how you can submit a questionnaire to get considered for life insurance. I want to help anyone out there who's ready to upgrade, needs a review of their policy, or needs to get life insurance. So, I'll make
Yeah.
sure to drop that in the comments for you guys. But I just love it. I think what you did is amazing, and I appreciate the impact that you are making on our world. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank
After
you.
doing something so great, what is next for Ellie? Like, what can you possibly do to top $1 billion mission?
Girl, I'm trying to think of that myself. You know what? I will definitely say what's next is I'm going to do Mommy to Millionaire again. This time, since we were able to create such movement around life insurance, I want to focus on like an actual tangible asset. So I would like all the mommies, when I run the challenge again, the goal is to buy property or to get a multifamily or to get a hotel. You know, I'm
Okay, let's
thinking
see. Let's
about
see.
things. Yes, I'm thinking about things. Okay, these are a group of women who are motivated, who are, intentional, who are ready to learn, and who want to create legacy. So I'm going to use my platform to help this happen. Even if those women can only put $1,000 each on a property, that's a small percentage of equity that they could have in a building that they can point to and say, hey, mommy owns a part of that, you know? So that's definitely the next thing I want to do with Mommy to Millionaire. And, overall through the business, I want to continue to scale my academy, elevatedacademy.com. It's an online school, and I really would hope to enroll more students continually and as well provide more classes in the areas of starting a business, scaling it up, and then ultimately building that wealth. So, we're building this from the ground up, girl. That's all I can think
Yes,
about every day. I'm like, wow, I'm literally building something from the ground.
I love it. I
It
love
just
it.
shocks me sometimes.
Hey, you are doing the Lord's work, and I know you are someone who believes you actually share in some cases how much God has changed your life, taking you from an abusive marriage to multi-million
Yes.
millionaire who can take care of your kids and spend time with your kids and provide for them and help so many other people at the same time. So this kind of leads me to my signature question. So the name of the podcast is called the Purpose of Money Podcast. And I
Yeah.
ask all of my guests, what is your purpose for money?
Ooh, what is my purpose for money? I love this question. I would definitely say that my purpose for money is for it to be, a seed throughout all my generations to come. I want the money that I make and any money I come in touch with to last for a long time. Like the way that I'm able to plant these seeds now, I want them to grow for my next generation, but I also want them to be able to take that fruit and plant it again and then grow and take that fruit and then plant it again so it can continue to grow. That's really why I work so hard, what I'm so motivated on. It's great to enjoy, money now and, go on trips and buy things. All of that is amazing, but I really see money as, a seed that can really plant a tree that can feed us forever, and
Yeah.
that's what I want to put in place. Like the way that I know how it feels to have nothing in my bank account. I don't want anyone who comes from my bloodline to know what that feels like. And I
Mm.
know that money, when used the right way and when optimized, can ensure that that never happens.
Amen to that. And you know what? I want to share this interesting statistic that I learned this weekend at FinCon when I was with Ellie in Orlando. One of the speakers shared how 70% of wealth doesn't make it past to the next generation. It is gone. It doesn't get passed down. There is no way for them to even plant seeds because 70% of wealth does not get passed down to the next generation. And of the wealth that does, 90% of it does not get passed down to a third generation. So you find yourself in a situation where you, as an individual, worked so hard to build all this wealth, and your ancestors or your survivors have squandered it away, if they got it at
Literally.
all, by the third generation. So it's up to us, educators in this space, to teach our people how to manage that money while we're alive so that when we're gone, they're good stewards of what we have created. Ellie, I
Yeah.
want to just thank you again for taking the time to be on the Purpose of Money podcast. Before we wrap up, can you please let us know where can we find you? I want my fans to become your fans too.
Oh yes, let's share fans because I know if I love you, and if they love you, they're gonna love me too because we vibe. So you
Yes.
guys can connect with me at Ellie Talks Money. That's my handle on all my platforms, and that's ELLIE. And then, as well as you guys can see under my name, Elevated Academy is the online school. So you all can go directly there to enroll in any class or work with me directly. And then, as well, you all can go to Mommy to Millionaire on Instagram. And if you are a mom or a dad and you want to be a part of the millionaire movement, you can connect there as well and be early notified when we do our next challenge in 2023.
I love it. So, it's such good comments. I just want to highlight some of these on the screen. So we have one person that said, amen to that. Love that. Planting a seed to build the generational wealth tree to help
Yeah.
leave a legacy for our families is from Azalea. Thank you so much. That is just beautiful. And we're all planting seeds here. And in that light, I want to let you guys know I am doing a life insurance awareness challenge. It's called the Leave a Legacy Challenge. It is absolutely free. I'm going to be with you for 3 days teaching you the truth about life insurance. But we're going to start the challenge on September 26th, talking about legacy mindset and why you need it. The next day, we're going to talk about life insurance 101, so you know exactly the types, what the differences are, and how they can benefit you and your family. And then on day 3, we're going to talk about how to leverage life insurance to invest in real estate, build businesses, and create generational wealth. So if you're interested in learning any of that, click on the link in the comments for joining the challenge. Sign up now. We can't wait to see you in the room, but I want to make
Yes.
sure that you guys know this stuff so you can't say, we didn't tell you, because we're teaching it. Okay. So
Yes.
check it all out. Check out the link to the challenge. Also check out the link if you want an insurance quote or a review of your existing insurance policy. I'm always here to help with that. Thank you again, Ellie, for being on the Purpose of Money
Of
podcast.
course.
I'm so grateful. Thank you, everyone, for showing up to our first live episode, and expect more to come because this was fun. I really enjoyed this time with you guys, and I'm thinking about bringing it back. So
Okay.
remember
Bring it
to
back. Bring it
share.
back.
Yeah, bring it back. So remember to share, like, and subscribe, and let's get your feedback in the comments. And we will definitely be here again. So just to recap, because Colette just asked, when is the challenge? The challenge is September 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. We're just hanging out. We're just going to be hanging out. But it starts on the
I love it.
26th. And I'm going to be giving you content every single day. We'll be in a private room talking about life insurance and how you can use it to leave a legacy. So check out the links in the comments. All right.
Yes. Thank you for
And
this. This is so amazing.
you're welcome. Until next time, guys, keep building generational wealth.